This handsome man is actually a super swindler with infinite intelligence. His top target is a boss in the largest money laundering ring in Korea, but currently the money laundering boss is in prison and the location of the huge amount of money is still a secret. So the super swindler disguised himself as a prosecutor to go to prison to meet the money laundering boss. Here, Hari promised to help him bring the money to a safe place before the police came to search. So the money laundering boss decided to show Hari where the money was hidden. The next day, Hari disguised himself as a police officer to go to the place where the money was hidden. He quickly fooled the guards to go somewhere else. Outside, Hari's teammates were adjusting the building's security system so that the deal would not be exposed. But no one expected that a group of thugs would come later. It turned out that they were the subordinates of the money laundering boss. Seeing Hari hiding money for them, the whole group of thugs intended to attack him. Suddenly a big man appeared with a friendly smile on his face. It turned out that he was also Hari's accomplice. A thug rushed in to attack, but he was instantly knocked to the ground with just a few punches from the big guy. He alone was enough to take down all of them. After that, Hari and his accomplices quickly got in the car and ran away. When the police arrived, the group of super scammers was no longer there. The prosecutor immediately ordered his subordinates to chase. The police car chased right behind the group of super scammers' car. When the police were about to catch up, suddenly a girl on a motorbike stopped them. It turned out that she was the last member of the group of super scammers. The four of them together founded a non-governmental organization specializing in defrauding wealthy criminals for money, especially in places where justice is not served. The super scammers will appear to make criminals pay. After the police lost track of the super scammers, the prosecutor went to see the money laundering boss to congratulate him on his release from prison. However, he also brought the illegal money to question him. It turned out that the super scammers had secretly handed over this money to Prosecutor Yang. Now he had to go to prison and not enjoy his illegal money. It was truly a more painful punishment. The prosecutor did not forget to mock the money laundering boss before leaving. After that, the prosecutor began to investigate this super scammer group. They were also known as the F4 group because they had 4 members. This big man's name was Jin Ung. He would take on the group's fights. Bung Min was known as the top hacker in Korea. His job was to hack into security systems to steal information. This beautiful girl is named A Young. She has excellent driving skills and will help the group every time they run away from the police. Finally, the leader is named Hari, but all the police know about him is very little. This makes Prosecutor Yan an extreme headache. In fact, he wants to ask the F4 group to help in the case of prosecuting the son of a tycoon for rape and murder, because the power behind him is too great. The police cover up the evidence and the court stands up for him, so Prosecutor Yan can't do anything more. The rich guy is later released from prison and doesn't forget to mock Prosecutor Yang. As soon as he gets out, he holds a celebration party. During the party, he accidentally notices the female waitress. The pervert ties her up. He has a hobby of filming videos of raping women and posting them on his exclusive website, but this time he let the waitress escape. The next night, the bastard had the driver hit the girl. Luckily, she was still alive. However, due to the severe injuries, the girl might have to be a vegetable for the rest of her life. Witnessing these things, Hari was extremely angry. At all costs, he had to make the rich guy receive appropriate punishment. At this time, Hari's group began to investigate the rich guy's family background. Jin Ung went to the police chief and forced him to hand over evidence of the rich guy's crime. Because he was threatened, the police chief quickly informed his subordinates to take out the documents. Hari waited at the station and took it away. That night, by a few simple tricks, Byung-min logged into the pervert's adult website. He found a video of him torturing the waitress. While the group was watching, they discovered that someone was following their trail. They searched through the location of the user accessing the website. Then they attacked Hari's group's car. Hari and his teammates fought with the gangsters. However, with a larger number of troops, the thugs quickly gained the upper hand. When they were about to take the 3 people away, Aryung suddenly drove up and the group quickly got in the car and fled. Because he knows the mastermind, Hari went to find him. When he met the bearded man, Jin Ung immediately threw a punch in revenge. He immediately covered his face in pain. Then Hari took him to the scene of the car crash. Hari threatened and forced him to tell the story of the rich man. 2 years ago, they started an illegal website business to make money. Because the rich man had his parents' backing, he completely disregarded the law. This pervert wanted to become the main actor in pornographic films. The bearded man thought that Korean law could do nothing to them. These things made Hari and Jin-eung extremely angry. They definitely had to punish the pervert and his bastard family. Suddenly, the bearded man's phone received a message. Someone would deal with the girl in the hospital so that she would never wake up. Knowing this, Hari and her teammates quickly returned. On this side, Byung-min and Aryung had broken into the pervert's room. They discovered a hidden room inside. Just as they found some evidence, they received news that someone was planning to kill the girl in the hospital. They returned. Without hesitation, the two managed to take the witness away before the assassin disguised as a doctor entered. The F4 team brought the girl back to their home. Hari asked a female doctor to take care of the girl. Luckily, the witness was safe. At this time, the rich man was having fun at the nightclub. He received a call reporting that the assassination plan had failed. He was immediately angry and killed a girl. Then he assigned the task of cleaning up the crime scene to his bodyguard. The next day, the F4 group took the comatose girl to another hospital. Suddenly, the girl woke up and was shocked by the presence of Hari's group. Hari helped her calm down. They wanted her to recover to become a witness to put the rich guy in jail. The girl told them an important detail. On the night of the incident, she used her phone to record the murderer's words, but the police took it away. Knowing this, Hari's group planned to break into the police station to get evidence. First, the F4 group scratched the police chief's car, and he had to go out to check. Then he accidentally touched a girl who was a rum. Aryung immediately stole the police chief's wallet. Jin-eung pretended to be a delivery man and plugged a USB containing a virus into the police chief's computer. Taking that opportunity, Byung-min broke into the system to check. He discovered that police chief often exchanged emails with the rich guy. Hari and Aryung broke into the evidence room. They found the victim's phone. At this time, the police chief discovered that a computer had a problem. He found the USB on it. He sent a group of police to chase the intruder, but Hari's group drove away. The police did not give up and continued to follow. Hari's group abandoned the car and ran away. The three men would lure the police. Aryung would go get the car to pick them up. Unexpectedly, Aryung discovered that the gangsters were also looking for them, and the group informed Hari of this. However, they still clashed with the gangsters. Jin-eung stayed behind to hold back the remaining two to escape. The leader was determined not to let them go. Seeing that Hari rushed into a decisive battle with him, Hari wanted to create an opportunity for Byung-min to access information. I thought Hari only knew how to sit and direct, but unexpectedly, he was also not an ordinary fighter. In just a moment, Hari had already punched the opponent. Byung-min also successfully got the information. The two of them continued to run. When they got outside, Jin-eung also defeated all the people blocking the way. Jin-eung blocked the leader so that the two friends could escape. Then Jin-eung and the thug rushed into a fight. After only a few minutes, he was knocked down by Jin-eung. The gangster still wanted to play dirty. He was given another punch by Jin-eung, making him unable to sit up. At this time, when the police arrived, Hari wanted to lure them to let Byung-min run first. When everyone returned to the car, Hari was still nowhere to be seen. The three of them became worried. Suddenly, the police surrounded the group, and the police chief reported the mission completed to his superiors. He was the pervert's father. He was the richest tycoon in Korea. Hari went to find him. Hari wanted to make a transaction with the rich man. Hari told him to bring money to buy back the evidence to accuse his son, and he had to accept Hari's request. On the other side, Prosecutor Yan was having a headache about the case. Suddenly, he received a call from the girl who was assaulted. Prosecutor Yan guessed that someone would come to collect evidence and prevent the girl from telling the truth, so he went to the hospital to wait. The police arrived and were immediately stopped by Prosecutor Yang because he suspected the police of taking bribes, so he sent someone to take the whole group of police to investigate. At this time, the girl handed over the USB containing evidence related to the rich man's case. It turned out that Hari only wanted to deceive the chairman. He wanted to get a large sum of money, and the bad guys would be punished by the law. His teammates escaped on their own because they suspected Hari of betraying them. The three of them angrily went to find him. They encountered the thugs, sent to prevent the clues from being revealed. Jin-eung was angry, so he punched each thug, and in no time, Jin-eung had knocked down the whole group. Now Hari just arrived. When he saw the angry faces of his teammates, he knew something was wrong. Hari tried to avoid them, but he was still discovered by them. Jin-eung intended to throw Hari down as a warning. Fortunately, Hari was still spared. The next day was the inauguration day of the rich pervert chairman. The F4 group started to act to expose the faces of the monopolists. Hari and Aeong pretended to be guests. The two of them took the employee's card to unlock the restricted area. Then Hari lured the female MC and Aeong plugged the USB into the computer to show in the program. Byung-min quickly infiltrated the computer system. At this time, the chairman and his son arrived. The ceremony was officially opened. Everything was going normally when suddenly on the screen appeared information about the chairman's son's crimes. Then there was a recording of him committing the despicable act. The reporters quickly surrounded him and took pictures. The chairman quickly left the ceremony, and his son quickly followed. Outside, the chairman was taken away by Prosecutor Yang for bribing officials and opposing the law. Meanwhile, the pervert had escaped into the basement parking lot. He intended to run away, but suddenly a car blocked him. He got out of the car angrily and cursed. Facing him was the contemptuous look and sarcastic smile of Hari's group. The pervert still wanted to attack Hari, but it seemed that his fists could only be used on women. Hari knocked down the pervert with just one blow. After dealing with the F4 group, he got in the car and left. Prosecutor Yang handled the rest, and the pervert had no way to escape punishment. When everything was over, the 4 Hari people went to a secret basement, which was where the rich chairman kept his money. The group was extremely excited to see the large amount of money. Suddenly, someone attacked them from behind. It turned out that the person who arrested them was Prosecutor Yang. He was having new troubles with case because the criminal this time was a high-ranking official, so the prosecutor wanted Prosecutor Yang to stop the investigation. This made him extremely angry, since when did the law become so corrupt? He wanted to handle this case himself. The first thing he needed to do was find his teammates, and the F4 group was the first choice. In the afternoon, Prosecutor Yang went to the place where Hari's group was being held, but when he took off the hood, he didn't expect that the person being tied up was his subordinate. The others had already escaped. The next day, Prosecutor Yang continued to investigate Hari's group. Hari unexpectedly came to see him at his home. Prosecutor Yang told Hari that the reason he arrested the F4 group was because he wanted to cooperate with them. At first, Hari did not agree, and the two argued. What Hari wanted was money, and Prosecutor Yang only wanted to catch the criminals. But Hari thought that if the criminals still had money, they could still use it to escape punishment. After a fruitless argument, Hari gave Prosecutor Yang her business card and left. The next day, Prosecutor Yang attended a press conference. The rich man was guilty of corruption and illegal gambling, but Prosecutor Yang's superior told the reporters that the director was innocent. This made Prosecutor Yang extremely angry, and he and his superior had a private conversation. His superior advised Prosecutor Yang not to get involved in this case if he did not want to be fired. This changed Prosecutor Yang's thinking, and now he thought that as long as the criminals were caught, any price he paid would be worth it. He came to find the F4 group to discuss cooperation. Hari's group would help him find evidence, and Prosecutor Yang would take care of the arrest. If they got the money from the criminals, the F4 group could keep it. After a while of negotiation, they shook hands to arrest the director and bring him to justice. Meanwhile, the director still disregarded the law. As soon as he was released from prison, he went to his own fighting ring. He was angry when his best fighter lost to his opponent. He brutally beat the broker. Next time, if he couldn't find a good fighter, he would kill the broker. On the other hand, the people who were protesting the urban project were corrupted by the director, and he embezzled the people's compensation money. Seeing that it was unreasonable, everyone protested against the relocation. Suddenly, a group of thugs came. They were hired to deal with the protesters. All the people were brutally beaten by the thugs. The director attended a party of the nobility, where he met Hari. Hari started his plan by approaching the director. He wanted to investigate information about him. Hari happened to know that the director was looking for a professional fighter, so Hari immediately introduced Jin Ung in the group to him. With a few moves, Jin Ung defeated his opponent, which made the director extremely excited. He immediately hired Jin Ung to work for him. That night, the director continued to organize a big tournament. Hari's group would also start their plan. At this time, Hari and Arung disguised themselves as security guards, and the two broke into the room containing the director's betting money. Outside, Byungmin infiltrated the security system. He installed a camera to monitor the fighting ring, but the director was not ordinary. He also had a plan. As soon as Jin Ung began to show signs of losing, the director and his subordinates immediately left. The alarm bell of the arena started ringing, but Byungmin's monitoring system also had problems. Seeing that something was wrong, Jin Ung quickly took down his opponent. The police raided the illegal betting floor. It turned out that this was the director's trick. He had called the police to make everyone chaotic, and he himself let his subordinates take all the money and run away. Hari and Aryong pretended to be guards and brought out the money, taking the opportunity to rob the car and run away. Unexpectedly, all the money in the car was fake. Hari's group was fooled by the director. It turned out that he was the one holding the real money. The next day, Hari and Aryong went to the director's company. The two wanted to find where he kept the money. They investigated and found out that there was a secret warehouse there. When they knew the location, everyone planned to steal the money. On the other side, Jin-eun went to the hospital to visit a relative who was also a protester and was attacked by thugs. Here Jin-eun met the director again. He hired thugs to beat up the protesters. This made Jin-eun extremely angry. Jin-eun decided that if he didn't deal with him, he wouldn't be human. Jin-eun followed him back to the company. In the parking garage, Jin-eun was about to attack him when a group of security guards rushed in to restrain him. Hari's group had just stolen the director's information. They were about to take the car and run away when they saw Jin-eun about to be dealt with. The whole group rushed to free Jin-eun, but Jin-eun still wanted to take revenge on the director. Seeing that, Hari immediately stopped the car and explained to Jin-eun. Currently, they had no evidence to charge him. The director would continue to freely do wrong. Only now did Jin-eun understand the problem. The next day, Hari's group prepared a plan. They would break into the secret warehouse to steal the director's money. At night, Aryong and Byungmin pretended to be employees and entered. They acted out a scene and stole the warehouse manager's keycard. The two broke into the warehouse's surveillance camera room. Byungmin quickly found out where they kept the money. Jin-eun would deal with the guards first. Meanwhile, Hari went to distract the director's subordinates. They chased Hari everywhere. At this time, Aryong and Byungmin drove to the vault. Jin-eun also neatly dealt with the guards, but before he could catch his breath, Hari brought a group of thugs to run over. Hari lured a thug to another place and dealt with him easily. Aryong and Byungmin drove the money car ahead. Suddenly, a car rushed out to block the way. The experienced Aryong easily dodged it. The thugs wouldn't lose their money so easily. Their two cars continued to follow very closely. On the other side, the director was meeting his wife when he received a phone call from his subordinate informing him that his illegal betting money had been taken by someone else. The director immediately left his wife behind and ran to solve the problem. At this time, the money truck had reached a dead end. Aryong quickly took the motorbike and took Byungmin to escape. The two left the money on the truck and escaped. Unexpectedly, when the director arrived, he discovered that he had been tricked. The money on the truck was fake money that the director had used to trick Hari's group. He received a phone call from Hari. Hari was holding the real money. He sneered at the stupid director. He was tricked by his own trick. This made the director extremely angry, but he couldn't do anything. Then the director returned to his betting room. The director discovered that someone had come here. It was Hari's group. Aryong went outside to lure the director and the thugs to chase after her. However, no matter how hard they tried, they could not catch up with Aryong. She followed Byungmin's lead and tricked the thugs to run all over the building. The director was tired of chasing Aryong, so he separated himself from the thugs. Later, he entered the arena and met Hari. Hari said some sarcastic words to the director. He also listed his crimes. This made the director angry and confessed everything, because to achieve his goal, he had to endure his ugly wife all this time. The director's wife heard all this. She left and cut off her relationship with him. The director lost everything from money to position. The last thing he had to pay for his sins was Jin-eun's punch. The director immediately lost his balance and lay still. When he woke up, he saw the handcuffs in his hand. Prosecutor Yang took over the rest of the F4 team, and his achievements were finally recognized by his superiors. The leader secretly asked Prosecutor Yang to form a special task force. The next day, Prosecutor Yang came to find Hari's team to thank them. He invited them to join the special task force. From now on, Hari's team would have a specific position in the government. This made everyone very excited. Prosecutor Yang started his career a few years ago. The person who led him was Hari's father. This made Hari put his trust in Prosecutor Yang. The truth is that the people who were arrested were not the masterminds. The person behind these people was still a mystery. Hari's father had also hunted him down before, but he didn't expect that he would be framed. This bastard was also the one who killed Hari's father. Not only that, he also forged evidence and turned Hari's father into a corrupt person. Hari wanted to personally bring him to justice and restore his father's honor. Hari brought people involved to justice and gradually reached the person behind him. The target this time was the chairman who embezzled 180 billion won. Byungmin was following him. He discovered that the chairman was afraid of the crime and fled, so he immediately informed his teammates. Hari's group immediately took action. Hari and Aryong drove the car to pick up the chairman. A moment later, he discovered two strangers. He immediately wanted to get out of the car, but what he didn't expect was that the car stopped right in front of the prosecutor's office. Prosecutor Prosecutor Yang's group was also planning to arrest the chairman for investigation, but he came to the door himself. The next day, Prosecutor Yang began to question the chairman. He was curious about who his accomplices were. The chairman admitted that he had a powerful person behind him. He advised Prosecutor Yang to stop if he didn't want to be affected, but Prosecutor Yang had never been afraid of anyone before. He would continue to investigate this case. At night, Hari came to find his girlfriend. Seeing his lover constantly putting herself in danger, she reminded him of something from the past. That time, Hari was seriously injured and came to his girlfriend. Fortunately, she was able to treat him in time. She discovered that her lover was investigating high-ranking officials, so Hari was attacked by an assassin and seriously injured. A while later, Hari woke up. He saw his lover crying because she was worried about him. He didn't know what to say to comfort her. Back in reality, Hari's group planned to investigate the chairman's manager. Suddenly, Hari saw Ryung's unusual behavior. He took her to a corner to ask her something, but Ryung refused to tell Hari, and she was angry and left. Ryung went to find a thug who had kidnapped her sister. In order to save her sister, Ryung had to carry out a difficult mission. That night, Hari's group followed a group of thugs who were subordinates of the corrupt chairman. He was delivering money to the manager when suddenly the police arrived at the scene. The thugs immediately ran away. Hari quickly chased after them. Suddenly, a car rushed out to block him, and the driver was Ryung. Before Hari could regain his composure, the police arrived to take him to the police station. When he heard this news, Prosecutor Yang immediately ran over and rescued Hari so he could continue the investigation. At this time, Ryung had completed her mission. She wanted the thug to release her sister, but her sister had been taken to some rich men. Knowing this, Ryung was extremely angry. She knocked down the thug and threw him out. Then Ryung broke into the rich people's house alone. She knocked out perverted old man and took her sister away. The old man quickly sent someone to chase the two girls. After going a distance, Ryung's car was stopped. She immediately got out of the car to stop the thugs, but Ryung alone could not do anything. They then knocked Ryung out. The younger sister was also taken away. It turned out that the person blocking the road was also a bastard. When she woke up, Ryung found herself in an abandoned house. The thug she threw out of the car last night was also here. He told Ryung a hidden secret. It turned out that the younger sister wanted to join the gang, so she and the thug set up a play to deceive Ryung. Ryung was in pain because she trusted the wrong person. On the other side, Hari was questioning the manager he had captured earlier. At first, he refused to confess, but when Jin-ung threatened him, the manager was scared and revealed the political boss. But when Hari's group investigated him, they couldn't find any information about him. The political boss hid his identity too well. At this moment, Hari suddenly remembered Ryung. He hadn't been able to contact Ryung for the past few days. Youngmin remembered that she had mentioned an orphanage before. The car Ryung drove in last night also went missing in this area. Knowing that, the group came here to search. Hari asked the orphanage director about Ryung. Through his story, he saw a few unreasonable things. Hari began to suspect the director. It turned out that the director was the one who gave the orders to the thugs. Because he was afraid that Hari's group would find out something, he immediately sent someone to follow them. At this time, Hari and his teammates were scouting around the orphanage area when Hari suddenly discovered strange traces on the road. He stopped the car to check. Hari discovered that there was a camera installed in that area. The group immediately went to the police station to watch the video footage from last night, and they discovered that Ryung's car had passed through here. That path only led to two places. One was the abandoned house that used to be the orphanage director's residence. The second was the orphanage just now. Knowing important information, Hari and his teammates split up to act, but they did not know that the stalker had reported the news to their superiors. On the other side, the director and his accomplices hid the stolen money. After that, he returned home and tortured Ryung. Suddenly, someone rang the doorbell. It turned out that Hari had found the house. He wanted to go inside to check. The director began to get nervous. He hid a knife and planned to kill Hari, but he discovered it. The two immediately got into a fight. With a few basic moves, Hari easily defeated the fake director. Meanwhile, Jin-ung and Byung-min drove back to the orphanage and were stopped by thugs. With a much larger number of people, they quickly defeated the two. The leader was the one who went with Ryung the day before. He said that he had raped the girl to provoke the two. This made Jin-ung extremely angry. He suddenly escaped from control and beat up the thugs. Hari found Ryung. Ryung felt remorseful for betraying everyone. Hari did not blame her because everyone in the team had long considered her a sister. Hari rescued and took Ryung out. At this time, the director had regained consciousness and was threatening with a gun. Suddenly, a person was thrown into the house. It was the director's subordinate. Their plan to kill Jin-ung and Byung-min failed. Jin-ung conveniently gave him a painful punch. Realizing that everything was in vain, the director quickly ran away. Outside, the gangsters officers had come to clear the way for the leader. The three men rushed into the fight with the thugs. Although they were outnumbered, they were not weak at all. The thugs fell one by one. Taking this opportunity, the director got into the car and fled. Arium immediately drove after them. In terms of driving ability, he could not compare to her. Even though he tried everything, the director still could not escape. Arium, his car lost control and crashed into the side of the road, and the director was stunned and unconscious. At this time, Prosecutor Yang arrived at the scene to handle the matter. The thugs were immediately arrested. The director was also taken to the police station. The next day, Hari came to interrogate him. He discovered that the director was dead in the room. He was afraid of being punished, so he left this world. So the director is still not the one behind it all. There must be a political boss who ordered his subordinates to kill the director. In a presidential election press conference, this commissioner promised the people of Korea that if he was elected, he would work hard to eradicate prostitution. But that night he harassed a female secretary. The girl was scared and ran away and called the police. But unexpectedly, the police were the subordinates of the perverted commissioner. They put drugs in her luggage to frame the poor girl. The girl was immediately arrested. The next morning, Prosecutor Yang came to find Hari's group. In the director's accounting book, there was an illegal amount of money transferred to the commissioner's account. Maybe he was the one behind the scenes supporting the corrupt criminals. Prosecutor Yang wants the F4 team to investigate this case, but Hari disagrees because the commissioner is not someone they can touch. In the afternoon, Hari attends a lawyer's trial. He is an upright person. The lawyer is participating in a difficult case. This girl is guilty of drug trafficking, but she keeps insisting that she is innocent. The female secretary thinks that the commissioner framed her because he failed to harass her. Everyone is against the female secretary and covers for the commissioner. Only the lawyer defends her, but he is completely weak. Witnessing all this, Hari feels angry. He will start to participate in the investigation of the bastard commissioner. That night, Hari goes to jail to interrogate the female secretary. She tells him everything that happened. The secretary regrets what she did. She thinks that she should have kept quiet. Then she would not be in this situation. Hari encouraged the girl. He promised not to let her suffer injustice, and the perverted commissioner would definitely be punished. The next day, Hari started investigating the female secretary's colleague. He got her drunk and stole her phone. After going out, Hari copied the information of the phone to the memory card. Hari's group discovered that there was a message inside. Someone had used money to bribe the female colleague to give false testimony in court. On the other side, the lawyer was having a secret meeting. This girl was the close subordinate of the commissioner's wife. It turned out that the wife was the one who handled the barriers for the commissioner. She hired someone to kill all those involved in the voter bribery case. But there was still one person who escaped, and he took a large sum of money and fled. The subordinate was afraid of the wife's tricks, so he brought the evidence he had to the lawyer. She hopes that the bad guys will be punished by law. At this time, Hari's group is investigating the bribe money of the commissioner. They discovered that someone took billions of won from the commissioner and escaped. After tracing them, they got the location of this person, and the group immediately set out to find him. At the same time, Hari also informed Prosecutor Yan, who quickly gathered everyone to prepare for battle. When Hari's group arrived, it was too late. The person holding the money was no longer there. Arun discovered a blood stain. A woman told them that person holding the money had been taken away by thugs. They brought him to the commissioner's wife, and she immediately ordered someone to kill the person holding the money. But the wife said that there was more than one traitor. Someone told her that there was another traitor inside. Unexpectedly, the person who reported the news was the lawyer. Everyone thought he was an upright person, but this lawyer was a bastard. The female subordinate was quickly reported by him, and the lady immediately sent someone to deal with the girl. After that, she and the thugs left. Hari's group and Prosecutor Yang arrived too late. The female subordinate and the money keeper were both dead. Everyone was helpless because the most important clue had been dealt with. On the other side, the lawyer was talking to a mysterious person. At this time, everyone took the female subordinate, who still had signs of life, to the hospital. Hari helplessly went outside. He made a phone call to someone. This person agreed to support Hari. A moment later, the doctor came out. He informed everyone of the bad news that the girl had died. In fact, someone in the hospital had influenced this case. He had forged another medical record. The lawyer went to see the commissioner's wife because he did his job well. She paid him a large sum of money. It turned out that this lawyer was a fake. Many years ago, he was a colleague of Prosecutor Yang. After retiring, the lawyer built a career to gain people's trust. He always pretended to be on the side of the victim, but in fact, he secretly received money and sent innocent people to jail. Once again, his tricks continued with the poor secretary. Back to reality, Hari brought the lawyer's file to Prosecutor Yang. He began to suspect the lawyer, and Prosecutor Yang also recognized him. Hari analyzed the details related to the lawyer for Prosecutor Yang. Hari thought that he had received 5 billion won from those bastards in power. The F4 team will investigate this lawyer. The next day, Hari went to find a reporter. He threatened to make his affair public. Taking advantage of that, Hari borrowed his identity and pretended to be a reporter to spread rumors that the bastard commissioner took bribes and raped his secretary. As a reporter, Hari went to find the lawyer. He told him that Prosecutor Yang was investigating the commissioner. The lawyer also received a call from the commissioner's wife. The wife threatened the lawyer that if he didn't handle this matter well, he wouldn't be able to live. That made the lawyer worried. He immediately went to the prosecutor's office and warned Prosecutor Yang, but the lawyer had found the wrong person. Prosecutor Yang was still looking for him. He presented evidence to charge the lawyer. He was involved in many cases of bribery, falsification of evidence, and money laundering for high-ranking leaders. But as a lawyer, he knew that these things could not be charged against him. He denied and challenged Prosecutor Yang. After leaving the prosecutor's office, the lawyer was followed by Hari's group. He went to a restaurant to meet several officials, including the incoming chief prosecutor. At this time, a Ryung disguised herself as a waitress and entered. The lawyer carefully examined her, but fortunately, the restaurant manager came to the rescue. A Ryung escaped danger. She quickly installed a wiretap under the table. It turned out that the manager had been bribed by Hari. On the other side, Prosecutor Yang came to find his lawyer friend. He asked his friend to help investigate the bastard lawyer. Then this friend sent Prosecutor Yang a photo of a broker who was the one who helped the bastard lawyer launder money. When Prosecutor Yang returned to the police station, the successor director came to find him. The director did not want Prosecutor Yang to continue to participate in this case. Suddenly, the current director came in. He took out the recording from the wiretap, which contained a conversation between the successor director and the bastard lawyer. He accepted bribes and colluded with the lawyer. If this matter was not exposed, the successor director could not prevent Prosecutor Yang from investigating. At this time, Hari's group searched for the place where the bastard lawyer hid the money. They discovered a female law school professor at his house. She helped the lawyer take the money and hide it somewhere else, which was in the professor's office at school. The next day, Hari's group set off to the place where the money was hidden. On the way, Hari received a text message that Prosecutor Yang had found the broker. Hari's group immediately stopped the car and split up to act. He would go catch the broker, and the other three would go get the money. But they didn't know that this broker was just a trick of the lawyer. He had colluded with Prosecutor Yang's friend. They wanted to deal with Prosecutor Yang. The lawyer had set a trap and was waiting there, but the person who came was not Prosecutor Yang, but Hari. The broker sent Hari's photo to the lawyer, and he immediately recognized Hari. Hari once pretended to be a waiter to investigate the lawyer's party. He sent thugs to his house to assassinate Hari. After a while of resistance, he was stabbed by the thugs. Luckily, Hari quickly jumped out of the house and escaped them. Meeting an acquaintance, the bastard lawyer smiled evilly. When Hari entered, the broker was already waiting. In his hand was an accounting book of the lawyer's illegal money. A group of thugs rushed in. They had prepared in advance. Hari was not afraid and closed the door. Hari fought the thugs alone, but he was not weak at all. Hari defeated them one by one. The group of prosecutors Yang also arrived here. When they went inside, they only saw the thugs lying on the floor. Hari quickly chased after the broker. He hid in the trunk of the car and tricked Hari. But when it came to fraud, Hari was not inferior to anyone. He stole the accounting book and handed the broker over to Prosecutor Yang. A while later, Prosecutor Yang called, asked Hari to hand over the book, but Hari told him that he had a bigger plan. On the other side, the three remaining members of the F4 group were searching the school. The lawyer's corrupt money was hidden here. After a while of searching, Aryong found the money inside the personal cabinet. Suddenly, the thugs came. They wanted to take the money back. Jin-ung and Aryong immediately fought with them. They were put in a weak position. Byung-min saw the dangerous situation and immediately took a fire extinguisher and sprayed it on the thugs. Jin-ung stopped to block their way. Taking the opportunity, Aryong and Byung-min took the money and left first. Then they drove back to pick up Jin-ung. The thugs were slow and could only helplessly watch them leave. At this time, Hari contacted Aryong. He had a new plan for them. Hari contacted the lawyer and provoked him. Knowing that his plan had failed, he drove to find Hari. The lawyer was about to stab Hari to death when suddenly another car hit Hari. The person who caused the accident immediately took him to the hospital. In the hospital room, the doctor diagnosed that Hari might not wake up. The three teammates helplessly ran out. The thugs followed Hari's group to the hospital. They were determined not to let them go. Luckily, the F4 group was rescued by the group of prosecutors Yang. The lawyer also went to the hospital to assassinate Hari. Hari suddenly woke up. He pretended to seduce the lawyer to get information, but he checked around to see if there was a wiretap. When he was sure it was safe, he confessed everything he had done. He had accepted bribes, forged evidence, bribed high-ranking officials, and committed many other illegal acts. He told Hari everything because the lawyer would end Hari anyway, but he didn't expect that everything from beginning to end was Hari's plan. The person he had contacted earlier was his girlfriend who worked at the hospital. She had asked her colleagues to arrange for the lawyer to break in. The scene of him attacking the patient had been captured by 3 people from the F4 group. Moreover, this TV was actually a tape recorder, and the lawyer had missed it. Inside was the lawyer's entire confession. Prosecutor Yang was ready to escort him away, but he ran away. Unfortunately for him, Prosecutor Yang was already waiting outside. Very quickly, the handcuffs were in the hands of this bastard. The people related to the lawyer were also quickly arrested, including the commissioner's wife. She refused to admit her guilt and even loudly threatened Prosecutor Yang, but Prosecutor Yang let her meet her subordinate who was still alive. The female employee stood up as a witness against the commissioner, leaving her unable to deny anything. It turned out that Hari had contacted his girlfriend before, asking her to find someone to help him fake the medical record and bring the witness to his home for treatment. Hari's group came here and was very happy because the female employee was still alive. She would be a beneficial witness for them. The next day, the press reported the scandal of the commissioner's wife and the bastard lawyer. This would be very disadvantageous for the commissioner because this was a sensitive time for the election. In prison, the lawyer was talking on the phone with the political boss. He asked him to rescue him, but the man refused harshly. At this time, Prosecutor Yang was looking for evidence in the lawyer's house. They discovered that his phone was missing. Hari took it away. He used the lawyer's phone to call the political boss. He didn't care and threw his phone away. Hari didn't need the lawyer's phone anymore. That night, the F4 group had a meeting to celebrate. Hari suddenly wanted to go to the bathroom. A man left his phone in the bathroom. Hari picked it up and found out that it was the lawyer's phone. He chased after him, but the man had disappeared. On the other side, several leaders had a secret meeting. They wanted the commissioner to withdraw from this election. A man appeared. He was the political boss. This person declared to the leaders that they should continue to let the commissioner participate in the election. He would handle everything neatly. The next day, the commissioner held a press conference. He wanted to regain his reputation because his wife had committed a serious crime. The commissioner declared that he would let the prosecutor's office severely punish his wife. He also took full responsibility for not managing his wife well. This is part of the political boss's plan to regain the people's trust. The next morning, Hari went to find her girlfriend. She told Hari something important. Her father had returned and he had taken a key. Many years ago, her father had embezzled a huge amount of money. When he was discovered, he hid the money and fled abroad. The lost key was the one to open the safe that held the 180 billion won that her father had embezzled. Prosecutor Yang was furious when he knew of this because the task force that took charge of the case that year was Prosecutor Yang's team. They were the ones who let the corrupt man escape. Prosecutor Yang's superiors were also affected and died unjustly. Hari said to let him help Prosecutor Yang handle this case. What he needed to do was keep it a secret because there were many people following him. Hari did not want to let what happened a few years ago happen again. But Prosecutor Yang told this story to the chief prosecutor, who was the person he trusted the most. The chief prosecutor could also help a lot in this case. In prison, someone visited the money laundering boss, who gave him the file and asked him to deal with some obstacles. The money laundering boss met Hari again, the person who had put him in prison. When he decided to take on this case, he was later released. This was the trick of the political boss, who had been manipulating everything from the beginning. The next day, Hari and his teammates went to his girlfriend's house to investigate. Bong Min got the data on the computer. The girlfriend's father had used it to text someone who had helped her father launder money. Bong Min used his talent and found the location where the 2 people had arranged to meet. The F4 group wanted to come here to arrest the girlfriend's father. To do that, they had to make this man appear. Because he had to run away once, he would be very careful. Hari knew that the person who helped him launder money had a hobby of playing golf, so he joined one of his matches. Ryung pretended to be a waiter. She seduced the money launderer and installed a recorder on him, and at the same time she stole the man's phone. Then Byung Min imitated the money launderer's voice and made an appointment to meet his girlfriend's father. Knowing the time and place, everyone immediately set off. On this side, the money launderer was captured by the money laundering boss. He questioned the man about the location of their transaction. The scared man told the location to the money laundering boss. At this time, Hari had arrived at the meeting place and met his girlfriend's father. Suddenly, the money laundering boss and his thugs appeared here. They wanted to kill Hari and her father. Meanwhile, the prosecution's office was searched. Seeing this scene, Prosecutor Yang was extremely angry. He shouted and asked, "Who who allowed them to do that. He did not expect that the person who gave the order was the chief prosecutor. Prosecutor Yang trusted the wrong person. The chief prosecutor publicly announced the arrest of the criminal to the press, and he also ordered the police to coordinate with Prosecutor Yang to do this. At this time, Hari was fighting alone against the thugs, and the father took the opportunity to escape. There were too many thugs, so Hari was in danger. Luckily at this time, his teammates arrived in time. They rescued Hari so that he could chase after the man who had run away. He was cornered by the thugs, and just as Hari arrived, Hari rescued him and pulled him away. After that, they hid in a room and escaped the pursuit of the thugs. Hari called Prosecutor Yang to report the situation and ask for help, but Prosecutor Yang was being interrogated by his superiors, so it was inconvenient to answer the phone. The director used the call to find out Hari's location, and the police arrived very quickly. Hari immediately dragged his girlfriend's father away, and his team drove to pick him up in time. The F4 team took the man back to their base. Now, everyone in the team was very angry. They suspected that Prosecutor Yang had betrayed them. On this side, the political boss contacted his subordinates. He knew that the plan was on track. They had captured a mysterious hostage. The next morning, Hari woke the man up, and they were going to the place where the money was hidden. Their way was blocked by the police, and it turned out that the director had issued a wanted notice for Hari. After getting out of the car, Hari used only a few basic punches to defeat all the police. Then everyone went to the pier. They stole a canoe to go to the island where the money was hidden. On the other side, Prosecutor Yang could not sit still. He and his colleagues also set off for the island. At this time, the F4 group drove the man to the place where the money was hidden, but they still didn't get there until nightfall. They were tricked by the man and went in the wrong direction. Hari helplessly told him to get out of the car to talk. Until now, he still didn't trust Hari. Suddenly, a policeman gave them an electric shock, and Hari collapsed on the spot, unconscious. The two policemen drove the wanted criminal to the police station. On the way, they were stopped by a car. It turned out that the money laundering boss had come to arrest Hari. On this side, Hari's teammates couldn't contact him. Byungmin used GPS to find Hari's location. When they arrived, they encountered a group of thugs. Jin-ung rushed in and beat them all up. While everyone was fighting in chaos, the man escaped first. Seeing this, Hari chased after him. The man didn't expect that he had a GPS device attached to him. Hari followed him to the front of the vault, where Hari admitted that his daughter had asked him to ensure her father's safety. He advised his father-in-law to surrender, and only then did he remember his daughter. The father began to feel remorseful. He promised to surrender and testify to catch the mastermind. Hari's teammates had finished off the thugs. They got in the car and followed Hari's location. Suddenly, a car came and stopped them. It turned out to be Prosecutor Yang's car. He came to explain everything to the F4 group. Everyone understood everything clearly and made peace with each other. After that, everyone went to Hari's place. Prosecutor Yang took the father away and said goodbye to Hari's group. The next day, Prosecutor Yang took the father back to the port. His daughter went to the place to meet her father. Prosecutor Yang also let the two reunite. Suddenly, someone pulled out a gun and shot. It was Prosecutor Yang's loyal subordinate. The father died right in front of his daughter. The girl was in so much pain that she couldn't stop crying. Prosecutor Yang and the F4 team witnessed everything and were shocked. Now all their efforts were in vain. The only witness was murdered. This was the political boss's backup plan. He had his subordinate's wife and child kidnapped. Then he forced him to kill the only witness. The subordinate was immediately subdued by his teammates. In prison, he kept apologizing to Prosecutor Yang. Prosecutor Yang also sympathized with the subordinate's situation. Later, Prosecutor Yang found his wife and child. Mr. Yang also promised that he would send someone to protect them. Prosecutor Yang asked who gave him the order, but the subordinate had no idea. He only remembered that there was a tattoo on his neck. At this time, Byungmin is investigating Hari. It turns out that Hari is the son of the prosecutor who died 15 years ago. When Hari caught him, Byungmin was startled and hid it. It turns out that Byungmin had previously participated in the case of falsifying evidence and falsely accusing Hari's father of corruption. Now he feels regretful and does not dare to face Hari. At home, Hari cannot contact Byungmin. He worriedly turns on Byungmin's computer to see and sees that his teammates are investigating him. Knowing that Byungmin has discovered his identity, Hari immediately drives to find him. Hari thinks that Byungmin thinks he is lying, so he leaves. On the other side, Aryong goes to ask for news about her father because a woman told Aryong that her father was involved in the election 15 years ago. Aryong goes to find a drunk man. He is a very close friend of her father. The man told Aryong the truth that her father was killed by that person. The person in the story was the political boss. Aryong began to panic. She didn't know what to do next. Now only Jin-ung was left at home. When he went to see Hari, Hari's room, he discovered that Hari had been investigating people related to the political boss for 2 years. Jin-ung also recognized one of them who had been hunted by him. At this time, Byung-min went to the political boss's secret base. He wanted to steal information to make up for his mistake with Hari. However, as soon as he had just entered the system, an alarm signal was sent to the political boss. He sent the money laundering boss to arrest the intruder. Luckily, when they arrived, Byung-min had already stolen the information and escaped, but the thugs were determined not to give up. Byung-min sent an email containing the stolen information to Hari, and he himself lured the thugs away. But unfortunately, he was caught by the money laundering boss, who brutally beat Byung-min. At this time, Hari received Byung-min's email. He used it to find his teammate's location. When he arrived, Hari saw that his friend had been beaten up. He rushed in and beat up all the thugs by himself. Hari saved his friend and escaped from the enemy. The political boss was extremely angry when he heard the news. He immediately ordered someone to deploy the next plan. After escaping from the thugs, Hari opened the email that Byung-min had sent. In it was the entire plan of the political boss. Hari discovered that his next move was to kill Prosecutor Yang. Hari immediately called to inform him. On this side, Prosecutor Yang received a phone call. Someone secretly made an appointment to meet him. Prosecutor Yang left but forgot his phone. When Hari called, Prosecutor Yang's subordinate picked up the phone. The girl told him the location where Prosecutor Yang would go. Hari hurriedly informed his teammates. Aryung and Jin-ung heard the news and immediately ran to find Prosecutor Yang. At this time, he had arrived at a building. Coincidentally, this was the place where his boss died 15 years ago. Although he was suspicious, Prosecutor Yang still went in. In the elevator, Prosecutor Yang opened his phone to see. He saw many missed calls from Hari. He answered the phone and was reminded by Hari that someone wanted to kill him. When Prosecutor Yang looked up, he saw that the person in the elevator had a tattoo on his neck. He was the person who appeared in the testimony of his subordinate. He immediately strangled Prosecutor Yang. Luckily, Jin-ung arrived in time. He stayed behind to hold the killer back so that Prosecutor Yang could run away. But the killer was not alone. Many thugs wanted to kill Prosecutor Yang. Suddenly, someone pulled him away. He came and took Prosecutor Yang away. When they went outside, they met Hari, who came to help. Just when they thought everything was over, suddenly someone drove up. Prosecutor Yang was seriously injured while saving Aryung. Everyone panicked because they thought Prosecutor Yang was dead. If so, all their efforts from the beginning until now would be in vain. Luckily, Prosecutor Yang was still alive. At this time, the thugs had finished with Jin-ung. They were about to take Jin-ung away when Jin-ung suddenly woke up. He quickly broke the siege and escaped outside. Everyone took Prosecutor Yang away and saw the thugs chasing Jin-ung. Hari drove the seriously injured Prosecutor Yang ahead. Aryung turned back to pick up Jin-ung and escaped together. Hearing this news, the political boss began to worry. He ordered his subordinates to carry out the final plan. At this time, Hari had brought Prosecutor Yang safely back to the base. Hari told him the whole truth. Prosecutor Yang knew that the director he trusted the most was also on the side of the villains. He could not accept this fact and wondered why everyone was on their side. Then he asked about Hari's true identity and why he still participated in this case, knowing it was so dangerous. Finally, Hari confessed to Prosecutor Yang that he was the son of the prosecutor who died 15 years ago, and his father was also Prosecutor Yang's superior. Hari wanted to expose the political boss and bring him to justice, so Prosecutor Yang could completely trust him. Hari would complete the remaining tasks alone. Before leaving, Hari looked back at the house that had many memories. He remembered the happy times with his teammates. When the other three returned, they could no longer see Hari. Only Prosecutor Yang was here. The three people guessed that Hari acted alone and that he was targeting the political boss. Knowing that, the three people decided to help him approach the political boss more easily. The next day, the director held a press conference. He announced that Prosecutor Yang had accepted bribes because he was afraid of confessing. He left this world. The police searched Prosecutor Yang's house and found some money. The director had arranged it. However, Prosecutor Yang's body was still not found. Many people were skeptical and thought that Prosecutor Yang did not commit any crime. The subordinates went to the director's office to request a reinvestigation, but unexpectedly, he disbanded Prosecutor Yang's team. Everyone was extremely angry, but could do nothing. The director insisted on finding Prosecutor Yang and killing him. He used the GPS to track Prosecutor Yang, and a group of police immediately set out. The director even allowed them to carry guns and kill them when they found the person. The police went to an abandoned house. It turned out that Hari had arranged everything. He left Prosecutor Yang's phone to distract police. Hari gently dealt with a policeman and took his gun. Then Hari went to the director. He kidnapped him and took him to another place. Hari held a weapon and threatened the director. He asked about his motive. It turned out that the political boss had given the director a large sum of money and promised to bring him to a higher position. The greedy director had joined the political boss's plan. He confessed all this to Hari. Hari had recorded the conversation. Hari also took the opportunity to teach the director a lesson. Law enforcers must not break the law. In the end, Hari left him behind and left. On the other side, his teammates began to act to support Hari. Byung-min hacked into the political boss's computer system. His purpose was just to annoy them. The money laundering boss immediately went to find the saboteur. Byung-min and Aryong lured him to chase. Aryong lured the thugs to the port and then to the police station. The police quickly followed them, and he also lured them to the port. The thugs and the police confronted each other, but they were on the same side. The leader even confessed to this. However, this was the plan of the F4 group. The three asked Prosecutor Yang's subordinates for help. Prosecutor Yang's group appeared in time. They heard all the leader's confession. All the bad guys were taken away by Prosecutor Yang's group. At this time, the director returned to see the political boss. He was extremely angry because Prosecutor Yang's body had not been found. Today, because of the news that Prosecutor Yang had passed away, the director could not officially announce the closure of the case. Seeing that, the political boss immediately threatened the director with corpse so that he could carry out the final step of the plan. But the political boss did not expect that his murder was recorded. It turned out that Hari had installed a hidden camera on the director. The political boss was very angry with the useless director who ruined his plan. Hari used the director's phone to call the political boss. He wanted to meet the political boss. The next day, Prosecutor Yan woke up. Hari's girlfriend was taking care of him. She gave him a piece of paper that Hari left behind. After that, Prosecutor Yang returned to the office. He went to arrest the director. The director was planning to bring out the fake corpse to announce that Prosecutor Yang was dead, but the living person returned in front of him, causing the director and the political boss's plan to fail. That night, Hari went to see the political boss. The two talked for a long time. The political boss admitted everything he had done. He wanted to arouse Hari's hatred, which made Hari angry. Hari taught him lessons about the law of cause and effect. Hari threatened to kill the political boss, but the political boss did not believe that he dared to pull the trigger. Suddenly, the thugs appeared to rescue their master. It turned out that the political boss had challenged him just now. To make Hari lose his guard, the thugs rushed to beat Hari up, and the political boss even grabbed a gun and pointed it at him. Luckily, Hari's teammates arrived in time, and they immediately rescued Hari. The two sides fought fiercely. Taking advantage of the chaos, the political boss fled. Seeing that, his teammates stayed behind to block the enemy so that Hari could chase after the political boss. The three of them quickly defeated all the thugs. Jin-ung was angry and immediately retaliated against the old grudge. He beat the guy with the tattoo up so that he would remember it for the rest of his life. The group members immediately followed Hari. The political boss got in the car and escaped. Hari also took the car to chase after him, but unexpectedly his teammates stopped him. They did not want to continue to stand aside. Hari was afraid of losing him, so he was very impatient, but he forgot that there was a genius hacker in the group. Byung-min had installed a GPS in the political boss's car. Knowing where he was going, Hari's group set out to chase. Hari did not want to stop her teammates anymore. Then three men got in a car and Aryong drove behind. Suddenly her car broke down on the road. It turned out that this was Hari's plan. The men did not want the only girl in the group to face danger. Aryong sat helplessly in the car crying. She understood her teammates' feelings for her. Later, Hari's group also arrived at a building. The political boss came here to meet with several leaders of the same faction. The three men began to act. Jin-ung dealt with the security guard quickly. The three took the door card and successfully broke into the control room. Hari pretended to be a security guard and followed Byung-min's instructions. On this side, Jin-ung was in charge of turning off the fuse. The building suddenly had a power outage. Hari used his dark vision goggles to get past the security guard. Then he quickly entered the meeting room of the leaders. Here, he secretly installed a camera in the room. After finishing, Hari opened the door and quietly left. Thus, the plan was a complete success. When the power came back on, the closed meeting of the officials began. They did not expect that the conversation was broadcast live. All the people saw the fake faces of the high-ranking officials. Suddenly, Hari appeared in the room, surprising everyone. It turned out that after finishing the job, Hari did not leave because he had another goal. Hari wanted to clear his father's name. Everyone who saw this news was shocked. The plan to frame the prosecutor 15 years ago was exposed. Prosecutor Yang saw the live broadcast. Jin-ung called to inform Prosecutor Yang of the location, and he and his colleagues immediately set off. The revelation of everything made the political boss very angry. He admitted that he had set up everything himself. The political boss's identity was also exposed. He was the advisor to high-ranking officials because the useless leaders wanted to find a way to cover cover up the bad things, they found someone to help them do it, and the political boss appeared at the right time to meet all the needs of the bastard leaders. He also gradually took control of the leaders and forced everyone to do as he pleased. Everyone was afraid of the political boss, but Hari stood up to expose him. After everything was resolved, Hari turned around and left, but he and his two teammates were chased by the bodyguards. On the rooftop, the three of them lay down because they were tired. Hari asked her two teammates if they regretted it, but they were happy because it was really interesting to see Hari carrying out justice. Bung Min took out his phone to check in for the last time, and they sent their wishes to the only girl in the group. Aryong returned home and saw the video that everyone sent. She was extremely happy. From now on, she will live the way she wants. At this time, the police rushed in to arrest the three of them. Seeing them being escorted, Prosecutor Yang came to explain for them, but Hari signaled him to stop. His purpose was completed, so Hari had no regrets. He also advised Prosecutor Yang to stay and continue to chase the criminals. However, Prosecutor Yang did not want to let them go to jail after their contributions. A few days later, the trial of Hari and her two teammates took place. Prosecutor Yang took out the phone they often used to exchange information, but the data on it was all erased. He was really out of options and had to sentence each of them to 15 years in prison. The police took them to serve their sentences. Outside, Prosecutor Yang came to thank them for their sacrifice. The three wished Prosecutor Yang a good job, and then they were taken away by a police car. Unexpectedly, the driver was Aryong. It turned out that Aryong had stolen the car keys. The four were happy to see each other again. Aryong sped up and took the group away. She soon lost the police. Prosecutor Yang went to the F4 group's secret base to search, but they couldn't find anything there. Someone had taken all the money and left only 30,000 won. Prosecutor Yang laughed helplessly. The drama ended here. Thank you for your attention and watching. Goodbye and see you again.